Well, good day, good day, good day, good day. And I know y'all are saying, what is Pastor doing on now? Well, it's Jumpstart January Soul Sunday. It's our last Sunday for Soul Sunday. And you all have been, man, y'all have been wonderful. Jumpstart January. Pastor Faye is right. Jumpstart January has been jumping. And we failed. We failed. The preacher was too long today, and we failed to get all of our news done. And we just got to do something about the preacher. We just got to do something about the preacher because the preacher was too long today, and we failed to get all of our news out. And so we didn't remind you that tonight was the last night of Jumpstart January. And so, but we will, I want to go ahead and move forward because people can catch it on demand. If you want to text somebody and or tweet somebody now and let them know that we are on YouTube as well as Facebook, go ahead and do that because remember, Jumpstart January was about four things as we moved into this month to get the jump, concentrating on the power of connection, the power of our connection with the Holy Spirit, and the power of our connection with each other. And we talked about uh, service, we talked about sharing, we talked about the soul, and each Sunday we've talked about the soul as well as the spirit. We've dealt with that, the 22 days of fasting and prayer, and those 22 days were amazing. And I don't say the churchy stuff. I know I'm supposed to say that as the pastor, but no, for real talk. Those 22 mornings at 6:30 were simply amazing. And each Sunday evening, we've dealt with soul issues, life issues. We dealt with relationships with the We Time prayer event, and that was powerful. And then we dealt with money. Lisa Baker was phenomenal with that, and so we dealt with those issues. And now I want to deal with the body. I want to deal with the body because we've got to take care of our temple, and we're going to be doing some other things when it comes to health and fitness and that type of thing. But I wanted to um, kind of soft shoe it tonight, if I can use that phrase, to kind of soft shoe it tonight and not really have hard nose. I know plenty of professional trainers and all of that who can share with us later. But I wanted to talk about it from a different perspective on tonight and uh, how our bodies end up feeding our minds, and how the challenge of fitness and even sports helps with identity and helps with esteem, and how important that is so that we have a holistic approach to life. You all have heard me quote this over and over and over again, and I'm not in the greatest shape. As a matter of fact, I just started back my workouts this week. I wasn't the person who, January 1st. No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I started last week, hit, went back to my garage. That's where I work out, and went back to my Peloton last week. But, you've heard me say this before, even in ministry, that the Scottish preacher, um, Robert Murray McChaney, died at 32. And on his deathbed, he said, God has given me a message to carry and a horse to ride. Alas, I've killed the horse and I can't carry the message. And I remember those days for me. I remember not taking care of myself and still preaching and that type of thing, doing thinking I'm doing the will of God. I remember leaving the hospital to go preach. They're like, "Where are you going? You're not discharged." I'm like, "I gotta go." And I remember going to the hospital, leaving the hospital, going to preach, they having to carry me home after preaching. And I got to the threshold of our little apartment and just lost everything, almost passed out, all of that. But I think I'm doing, the will of God. And it just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. But here's the other thing that I want to talk about is that some people in the black church, Sunday's dance is the cardio for the week. So, when they cut their step on Sunday morning, that's the cardio for the week. And we've got to cut that out, and we've got to get a little bit more healthy so that we can do what we're supposed to do. And so I brought on someone who I know is committed to fitness and I've um, uh, watched from afar because she lives somewhere else, but her fitness journey and how it's affected her mentality as well as her physiological ability. And so I want to bring on my firstborn, my child who I love more than life itself. And so she's going to help us and talk through some things. But she's not on tonight for me to just be the doting father. She's here to help us tonight. So I want to bring Destanni Triplett on at this time, and we welcome her to Jumpstart Soul Sunday. Hello, my child.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, welcome. We appreciate you sharing your time, and I know it's a busy time for you. Had a lot going on today, but thank you for being able to share. And I'm going to be reading the chat, and so if anybody has any questions or comments, please, please, please go ahead and do it. What I want to do, Destiny, is um, encourage people to be more fit without condemning people to be more
Mhm.
fit. I want to encourage people to take better care of themselves without the frustration of trying and failing and trying and failing and uh, so the first question that I would ask of you is uh, how did you become, so serious about it? I mean, you all were athletic growing up and played sports and that type of thing, but how did you become so serious about it?
Um, Honestly, it started out as a vanity situation. I had
Okay.
a friend that invited me to come to a gym, and I went, and I just kind of, it was fun, it was cool, and then I actually started training with a trainer, and I just really wanted a flat stomach, if I'm being completely honest. And I've had allergies, asthma for the majority of my life, and I noticed that 6 to 8 months into the journey, I didn't have to take my inhaler anymore. I didn't have to use allergy medicine anymore. And the company that I worked for at the time, they did like a yearly checkup where they like tested your blood levels and they told you, this is what your cholesterol is, this is what your iron levels, and all of these different things. And so when the numbers dropped significantly, and I also no longer had to take allergy medicine, that's kind of when it shifted for me from a vanity thing to an actual, this is actually helping me to be healthier on this journey that I have. And that's what really caused me to really look at it differently.
But health is not size.
Not at
So
all.
so talk to me about that.
I think what's healthy for one person is it's going to look different based on the person. So it's really a matter of getting in tune with yourself and noticing, okay, my body feels really good when I do these things. So it might be that you do some yoga for that day. It might be that you do a walk. It might be that you make sure you drink your water. And that may be you at the weight that is ideal, which I don't think the society should really do that. But I think it really just depends on you becoming more in tune with your body and how your body feels.
Does when you talk about how your body feels, is it possible? I saw something the other day that said, uh, you know, something about push yourself to your limit and then cross it, in
Mm-hmm.
the sense of that I may not know how good I can feel
Yep,
until I push myself to start feeling good, if that makes sense. Is that
absolutely.
what happens?
It definitely is what happened for me. I started, I guess March will make 4 years since I started working with my trainer, and literally what I used to tell myself at the beginning, because it was a shock to my system. I'm not gonna lie. Literally everybody, when you get serious about your fitness journey, you are forced to pull yourself out of your comfort zone. So it's like when I would go to the gym before, I get on the treadmill for 30 minutes or the elliptical for 30 minutes, and then I might go play around with the machines or anything like that. But when I really started working with a trainer, first of all, he pushed me further than I thought that I could actually be pushed. But what I would tell myself, and this is what I tell people who come into our gym now, is push yourself 10 seconds longer than you feel like you can, or push yourself 5 reps more than you feel like you can, and watch your stamina start to increase. Because it's like when you hit that threshold where it's like, I can't do it anymore, anybody can do 10 more seconds. Anybody can do 5 more reps. And that adds up over time. So it's like, hey, when you first started, you couldn't do this for more than 30 seconds. And now you're able to do it straight for 2.5 minutes.
Okay. Stamina is key. And really be very, very honest. I work out for a couple of reasons. One, it's vanity, economics, and then stamina for me. So it's
You need to fit your
vanity
suit.
because I do want to look decently. I want decent. I'm on television. I'm on this and that. I do want to look decent, and that's just a part of being a triplet. but
Yes.
but the other thing is I have a wardrobe that I don't want to replace.
I
And
understand.
so it's like I can only get, with the way my suits are cut, I can only get only a certain amount of pounds over optimum before my suit doesn't fit. And I just can't afford to replace all of my suits. But then the other thing, and I say that in jest, but I'm really serious. But
Very serious.
the other thing for me is stamina, because I do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot. I'm getting ready to do more. My new radio show starts on Wednesday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday.
Yep.
So I'll be getting up at 4 a.m. in order and
Welcome
so
to the team.
yeah, no, because you don't have the sleep problems that I have. So
This is true.
so I will be on radio from 6 to 9, and then my staff is looking for me at 9:30 because they ain't trying to hear me going to take a nap. Pastor Faye rolls her eyes every time I mention my radio show. So it's the issue of stamina, and I know that when I don't work out, I don't have the stamina that I need, and I don't know the physiological, anatomical kinds of things that you and Leona and others can talk, but I do know that when I push my body further in an unhealthy way, it negatively affects my body.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I'm pushing my body, those 5 extra reps and all of that, that helps my body. But when I don't get enough sleep and I don't exercise, and then I'm burning the candles at both ends, it's having a negative effect, and I don't have the stamina that I need.
Right.
How important is it for people to go ahead and just find a way to get started?
Mm-hmm.
And what does getting started look like so that they can journey to
Mm-hmm.
better health and stamina and the like?
I think there's a couple of different ways to get started, because being quite honest, nobody is going to do something long term that they just genuinely hate. So, for example, I tried a CrossFit situation one time, and it was 1,000 burpees and all this type of stuff that just wasn't for me. So it was something that I wasn't going to be able to maintain long term. So I think that there's a couple different ways that you can get started. One being finding something that you enjoy. So if you like to dance, if you like to be outside, if you like to take a boot camp of some sort, start with something you like. And from there, you can start to push yourself beyond your limits, but it's something that you actually enjoy. It could be that. It could also be finding an accountability partner. So we actually offer a twinship membership where people can join with a buddy because accountability is key. So you may not love exercising, but you enjoy spending time with this person. So that becomes you all's time to, it's that 30, 45 minutes. Hey, girl. Hey, whatever, it's things like that. So finding something you like, finding time to do it with a person you like, or I'm trying to think, that might be the two biggest ones, honestly, to just get started, is finding either something that you enjoy doing or doing it with a person you enjoy spending time with.
Now, here's something I did the other day, because I watch people, and I'm a smart aleck. Everybody knows that. But, I saw these people walking the other day. Mm-hmm. And I just thought to myself, they need to walk a little faster if they're going to get something done.
It's supposed to be a no judgment zone.
No, I wasn't trying to judge. Here's what I'm trying to get to. The other day, I rode my Peloton so that I could say I rode my Peloton. Mm-hmm. I didn't give the level of effort that I was supposed to give. I didn't give, but I could check it off my list and say I did some cardio today. And so how do we push past I did it and I can say I did it, and it's really not doing much for me?
I think it's really about finding your why, and the why may not come immediately. It may come a month into your journey, 6 weeks into your journey, but it's like, why are you doing this? Are you doing this because your doctor told you needed to lose 10 pounds to feel better? Are you doing this because you want to fit into a dress? Are you doing this so I think that with everything, sometimes we don't do things until we're ready. Like you said, was athletic in high school, but I'm not going to lie, that freshman 15 in college hit me hard. And I was like, whoa, we're going to have to figure something out. I actually remember we were in New Orleans for something for Grandpa. I think that was the time that we all surprised him for Father's Day or something. Okay. When I tell you I hate those pictures, I hate them because I literally looked at myself and was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. And I think right now I'm probably 30 pounds lighter than I was then at my heaviest. And it was a matter of recognizing that, hey, I may not find my why immediately, but if I at least give myself 6 weeks because I think that the quote says like it takes 4 weeks for you to see a difference. And I'm butchering the numbers, but a certain amount of time for like people who know you to see a difference, and then something like that. I think it's really a matter of you have to do it for yourself. It can't be for somebody else. And you may not be able to say you're doing it for yourself until 6 weeks down the road, 12 weeks down the road, but really figuring out, okay, why am I doing this? And side note, another thing, like I said at the beginning, I started this because I wanted a flat stomach. Pictures for accountability really make a big difference. So literally Saturdays was my picture day. I would leave the gym after boot camp, and I can show you the screenshots of I had January 15th and then January 22nd. And then I would swap out in January 22nd to January 29th. And I almost became addicted to the results because it's like, hey, you put in the work this week and it's actually paying off. But if you don't document it, you can easily become discouraged because you feel like nothing is actually happening.
For me, I've had to learn to commit to the activity and not necessarily the outcome. because I get frustrated when I don't see the outcome that I want,
Mm-hmm.
especially at my age. So it's difficult, more difficult to get anatomical changes at my age. So for me, I said, okay, no matter, you know, because here's those of us who are not committed to working out at the level that you are. Here's what we do: we go work out and then we go look in the mirror. So- and so we want that, you know, we want, especially when you're trying to tone and build muscle and that
Mhm.
type of thing, we want that 2 minutes after workout look to
Yes,
last. But it doesn't last.
that's
it,
fair.
it doesn't last. So I've had to commit to the activity and
Hmm.
not just the outcome, so that I don't get frustrated. And I know people who have done that. They worked out and then they get on the dreaded scale,
Hmm.
and then they don't see what they want to see. And sometimes it's because, you know, fat is turned into muscle and
Hmm.
you're not. And so, but you know, the scale is some people's worst nightmare. Are you a
Agreed.
proponent of take the picture, stay off the scale? Is it a combination of both? What is it?
I definitely am a primary what's the word I'm looking for? I advise that people they really focus on taking the pictures. So Stick Shift Fitness is where I am working out, and literally I have a client who I do virtual training with her, and she has been working out almost a year at this point. And before I started training her, she just always had cancellations. She would have to cancel. She's a professor, very well known, and so she would have keynotes or she would have classes, and just she wasn't able to maintain the schedule. And so we've been working out consistently probably since October. And literally, she sent a screenshot of her whatever tracking system she's using for her weight, and she finally hit one of her milestones. But we've also been consistent because we were able to switch it so that her schedule could be a little more accommodating. And
Okay.
so she said the same thing to me, and I felt very discouraged because she's like, Destiny, I've been doing this and doing this and doing this, and it's not working. But it was so beautiful to see her light bulbs go off because one, she took a picture and has been able to compare it from however long ago to now. And she literally, I didn't even prompt her. She was like, I see my legs, I see my arms, I see different things like that. And I think that people talk about, you hear the term non-scale victory. So there are some people who will take a picture in the same dress or take a picture in the same sports bra and tights, if you will. And I recommend people doing that because you're able to see, hey, this little roll that was right here 2 weeks ago
Right.
is not there. And I think that we are our own toughest critics. So when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you are possibly looking at yourself through an old lens versus if
Right.
you're comparing a picture of yourself from 10 days ago to now, it's undeniable. You're able to see, hey, this is smaller, this is more tone, this is things like that. So, yes, I mean, you go to the doctor and they're going to put you on the scale all the time. And unfortunately, as Black women, the benchmarks that physicians have, they'll tell you you're morbidly obese when you're not, but you
Right.
just are built differently than a white woman. But I do believe that those pictures will keep you motivated until you begin to see the changes on the scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works. Couple of things. You've been very and anyone who has a question, please. We chose tonight to not deal with fitness from a technical perspective, but just from a life perspective. There's some things that'll come down the pike when we start, you know, when we jumpstart our health and fitness, um, efforts as a church family. But I wanted to talk about this tonight from a life perspective. Aniska says that pictures do work.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am, they do.
it is. I'm not taking any right now. I'm just not. I'm not.
Why?
I don't like how I look right now, so I'm not taking any. As a matter of fact, um, uh, Bishop Kevin Long, your Uncle Kevin, he's got a T-shirt line out, and he called me the other day, and he's like, "Man, I need you to take a picture in the T-shirt, because I'm one of the brand ambassadors. I need you to take a
Mhm.
picture in the T-shirt so that we can put it on the website." And I'm like, "You're gonna have to wait a few weeks for that picture. There's some things I got to do before I take that picture." So he does not have his picture yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. How about I I think more clearly
Mhm.
when I'm quote unquote my version of in shape,
Yep.
because it is my version. I don't work out with a trainer, uh, but it's my version of being in shape. There I have certain benchmarks.
Mhm.
I like to be able, no matter what, to roll out of bed and run 2 miles. That's kind of a If I can't run 2 miles, I know I've
Yep.
gotten way, way, way off. Um, uh, so the thinking, how does it affect, because am I wrong? My brain seems to work better.
Oh yeah. So we just moved into a larger location for Stick Shift Fitness about 6 weeks ago, and it's actually crazy how much this building has changed even since you were in here. Um, and so, to be honest, I haven't had as much time to work out with the build out and just trying to make sure everything was ready for the grand opening. And one day, it was 9 o'clock, and I said, you know what, I'm just about to go get on this treadmill. And I did. And literally, I think I ran for a mile. So my benchmark is a mile. Mine is not 2 miles. But I was able to do my mile cold, like you said. And then I think just for the sake of closing my ring on my Apple Watch, I just ended up like walking on the incline for maybe like another half a mile or something like that just to close the ring. And I was able to, like you said, think more clearly.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it really goes back to that whole thing of finding your reason. So there are people who just hate to exercise, period. It doesn't matter if,
And for some people, and I'm not a lover of exercise.
yeah,
I don't get a thrill.
yep,
It's not fun to me. You, especially men, you'll find the guys who are just so excited they beat their personal best, and they're,
yes,
they're yelling and screaming. I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm just trying to,
yeah.
my suit needs to hang right. you know,
There's a guy who hooked up the sound system here, and literally his max, he squatted like 1,300 pounds. And we were just like, but why?
no, no,
And literally, Stick was like, why would I ever need to squat a car? Like, that's
right.
just not something that ever needs to happen.
Yeah,
But I think,
I'm not built to be the guy that only wears shorts and t-shirts. I
you know,
I need to put some clothes on.
you know, but to your point, like you said, you're not this, oh, I just get so excited when I beat a goal, but you do like, and it's another reason beyond just, the vanity in your clothes and things like that, but that's your health benefit to it. If
Yeah,
you've had a long day, or if you recognize that you start to feel a little bit cloudy or something like that, hey, I actually haven't exercised in a while. So maybe let me just, even if it's 20 minutes, find something that you like to do for 20 minutes. If it is you pull up something on YouTube that you like, if you go run on a treadmill, if you go run outside, if you turn on your favorite playlist and dance for 20 minutes, that is a
not
why
gonna
as
be able to do
well.
that.
I'm not talking about you. You said it's mostly women, so it might be
Yeah,
just something that's going to elevate your heart rate and get those endorphins flowing. Because if nothing else, you might not be doing it for a health reason. It might be or not a physical health reason. It might be for your mental health.
okay.
And that makes a huge difference. That could be your why. And then 6 months down the road, you start to say, oh, shoot, I need to go buy another size smaller because,
Right.
and so it's a dual benefit for both your mental and your physical.
Minister Michelle says at the end of a long day, it's release for her. Now I'm
Mhm.
the opposite. because normally if I don't work out by 10 in the morning, it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really work out well in the evenings and the afternoons. So now I'm trying to I've got to flip it now because I'll be on radio from 6 to 9. So I
Mm-hmm.
won't be able to work out. Now there will come a time, right now we don't have my office up and ready and that type of thing. And so I work out of a conference room and that type of thing. So, but there may be later down the road that I will be able to get off the air, go
Mm-hmm.
and work out and shower and all of that at
Pastor
the
Faye gonna be
office.
rolling her eyes at you.
Yeah, but then I would start at 11. Here's the thing with them is that um they don't want me to overdo it. It's not that they just think it's too much. We're trying to rebuild the church and all of that, and they're just like, it's just you're doing too much. Now, here's the benefit though. If I start my work day at 11 rather than at 10, then that's probably 15 things in that 1 hour that I don't give them to do. So it may benefit them that I start at 11
Yeah.
and not at 10 because they're a little sick of me right now.
You
Uh,
know.
uh, Pastor Faye told me, "Can you go home the other day? Can you go? Just go home, just go home." But let me ask this because I think it's very important um, that uh, we talk about it from this vantage point. Um, women women are cold-blooded at times, they and that's just I'm being facetious, but I'm really not. But
Okay.
um that's why as a group, I don't trust them
Wow.
as a group because of their commitment or lack of commitment to their own gender. Here's what I mean. Um uh Women can have a friend that obviously needs to get more healthy,
Mm-hmm.
um, but then not encourage her to, and and let her put on something that she wasn't supposed to put on, and let her come outside with stuff she wasn't supposed to wear. But on the flip side, if it's not what I do, I'm talking what I've seen in women. If it's not what I do, then they'll condemn the people who do it.
It's
If
true.
fitness is not my thing, then just not let it be your thing, but let other people do. How can we get more encouragement, camaraderie, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing?
Um, and y'all know that I'm not a churchy person, but I think that if wanting to start on your fitness journey is something that is really important to you, but it's also intimidating at the same time, I think asking God to lead you to the right person and or the right place will make a huge difference because it's so weird that you mentioned being around women who don't support each other, but fitness, like we literally don't play that. And so because that's where I've been in the community that I've been in for the last 3-4 years, I forgot that, to be quite honest with you. Like it literally is a place where everybody is supporting everybody on their fitness journey. And so I think that because it can be a very vulnerable situation, it's hard when you're starting. We have people all the time that'll say, is there a beginner class? And our response is always no, but everybody starts at a different place. But it's a situation where if you stop, somebody's going to come and try to do it with you or things like that. So I really think that finding the right place and the right person to help you will help make that difference for you.
Okay.
And I know there was a question, it disappeared. Okay, it
Yeah,
just
I'm gonna get and let me talk about the encouragement real quick. Um, just want y'all to know that sometimes even your own family doesn't encourage you. Because there was a time I was doing all this stuff because my stomach had just gotten out of shape and all of that. And my child, my oldest child said, Dad, just eat because you ain't gonna ever have flat stomach. So just go
I
on
don't
and eat.
even remember this. I do not remember this, but you
Yes,
say it like it's
it is a fact. It is a fact. It's like you're never gonna have flat stomach. So just go ahead and eat.
you
And
know.
so, let's see. So Wanda Holmes says, I'm a morning workout person as well. Question: do you have suggestions for alternatives? Unable to do squats, cannot walk in the winter because of health issues. Just looking for some suggestions to maintain consistency.
Definitely. I think there's always a modification for everybody. So if you are unable to do squats, then maybe it's just you're moving side to side instead of, because I understand that motion can be complicated for some
Mhm.
people, but I think that the biggest thing is just getting your body moving. So if it's like I said, finding a playlist that you love, do something in your house. There, YouTube, Instagram, social media, there are 1,000 different options at this point. So if it is literally you're just moving side to side or moving front to back instead of having to bend that knee, it's definitely going to be, you're still moving, it's just a different motion, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
And that's also where I don't like gyms.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I have to have enough um, for me to do whatever I need to do, either at home or go to a park, because I don't like gyms. That and it
Mm-hmm.
has nothing to do with COVID or anything. I just don't like gyms.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work for me. So people do have to find what works for them. Um, but let's go back to this. How do you flip it? Because I have set aside the way my schedule works now. I've set aside uh, 3 p.m. to 4:30 for my
Mm-hmm.
time to work out. That
Okay.
allows me to get home from, it gives me that takes care of my commute. I get home. Preston doesn't have to go to practice until a certain so, you know, but I'm that's it's been hard for me
Mm-hmm.
flipping it because I'm a morning person. And so
Mm-hmm.
how do you fight through that mental block?
I think it is going to be a fight at first, and I think that you will then find another reason to enjoy that time frame. So, for example, when I first started training, I would leave work, drive to the gym. I think we started training at like 6 o'clock. So that's how I would end my day. Leave the gym, go take a shower, eat, things like that. Kind of like Minister Michelle was saying, that was a great way to like let off the day. And then when we opened Stick Shift Fitness, we have a virtual class at 6:30 in the morning, and I ended up being the example for that. And I was like, whew, how do and you got to have energy being on the screen for other people watching you. But then I found reasons to enjoy. So it was a great way to start my day. I kind of spent my time with myself through
Mhm.
my workout. And then I went on about the other tasks that I had to finish throughout the day. So, but I will lie, I'm not going to lie to you. At first, I was like, this is so weird because I think part of my if you will, for getting through my workout was, okay, I already worked my full day. Let me burn the day off.
Okay.
Whereas, like you said, I had to flip it, but I had to find other reasons to like that time frame. So for you, you may find out that 3 to 4:30 time frame is good for you because it allows you to kind of exert some of your energy, but it's not too close to bedtime to where you're still a little too what's the word I'm looking for? Like your neurons are still firing a little too much so
Mhm.
that you couldn't go to sleep if you were to work
Right.
out closer to the time where it's time to go to sleep. But it's like if you finish your workout around 4, you get that little boost of energy to finish out your day. And then hopefully, maybe it'll end up being a blessing in disguise. And that'll help you to be able to sleep better, if that makes sense.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. A couple more questions, and anyone else who has a question, please put it in the chat. Um, talk to a when is it time in order to get the effectiveness? Trainer, no trainer. Who needs a trainer? Who doesn't
Mhm.
need a trainer?
Um, I think it's personal preference, and you have to be honest with yourself. So, one, are you going to push yourself to the level that you need to see results, or do
Yeah, to
you?
see results. For me,
Yes.
yes. Not to, but it won't be optimal. It won't be
Okay, so
optimal.
what is your aversion to a trainer? That's the first question.
My aversion, I don't really have an aversion to a trainer. One, it is I actually ultimately will get one, but they'll have to come to my house. I'm not
That's
going to a gym.
okay.
Um,
We get it.
the I know right now for me, I'll have to get a new why
Okay.
because I'm capable when I'm disciplined,
Hmm.
I'm capable of getting myself to my present why.
Okay.
So um I will need a why that where being more sore is okay because I don't have a why right now that being more sore is okay with me.
Okay.
I don't need it that bad. So I'm just being very, very honest.
Hmm.
Um the the because I remember that and I remember getting um I remember having difficulty preaching because my core was sore.
You
So
couldn't hoop how you wanted
I
to.
couldn't. That's like, may the Lord bless you all, and God, I could. So that doesn't. I remember, um, nobody knew it, but I remember getting a Charlie horse in the middle of a sermon one time.
Ooh.
So yeah, it don't work for me.
I mean, but you can get a Charlie horse from anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be because of a trainer. You could have not ate enough potassium, or But
So
I hear
it
you.
is that was not cute. Oh God, that was not cute. But so it's a matter of when you've hit a wall with your results.
Hmm.
I think the other thing that I've seen in you and what you all do is um, the the s- the individually owned gyms versus the national chains.
Hmm.
You're able to develop a community, and the
Absolutely.
community helps to keep you motivated. If that
Hmm.
makes, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay, so so some people really need that community. Some people really need that push. Um, I need it if it was that important to me, but it's not. But Michelle says, "How do I get a flat stomach when I don't like working my abs? This is a trouble area for me."
I mean, they do say that your stomach is, what is it? 80% diet, 20% what you actually do in the gym.
Okay.
So, from a food perspective, one thing that I would recommend is, if you don't already know, finding out what your blood type is and then eating for your blood type, because we have certain foods that are very inflammatory for our blood type. And that could also lead to that inflammation is in our stomachs. So you may be able to, like, um, there are certain people who chicken, unfortunately, Black folk, we like it, but chicken is the worst thing that you could eat if is it a B blood type? I'm not, it's escaping me at this point, but, and I can definitely send some resources on the back end, where you are able to look at what your blood type is. And there are literally three categories: foods that are highly beneficial for your blood type, foods that are neutral for your blood type, and then foods that you should completely avoid. And those foods that you completely avoid, that could also help with reducing your stomach. Drinking more water is another one. And then you might just have to increase your cardio. If you're just not going to do the abs, then it is increasing your cardio, because you're in also creating a food deficit. So your caloric intake is not higher than what you're burning off. And that way you might not necessarily get the abs, but your stomach would definitely be flatter by drinking more water, staying away from foods that are inflammatory, and then increasing your cardio.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? All right. What would be a a final bit of encouragement, or a final bit of motivation, and more so inspiration, because motivation comes from inside, uh, inspiration comes from outside.
I would say work until you become addicted to the results that you see. And whether that be the mental results, whether you just feel like you are able to think clearer, you are able to um, become more focused and sharper in your everyday activities, and or the physical benefits. Hey, I'm trying to fit in these jeans. Hey, I'm trying to put this dress on. Hey, I'm trying to do this. And I think that why is not always going to come at the beginning. We know things that we should do all the time. We don't necessarily do them until we
Right.
find a reason that's stronger than our excuse. So I think it's work until you become addicted to the feeling, and let that continue to propel you on your journey.
Great. That was wonderful. Now I'm going to give y'all some some non-professional kind of just help. This is, y'all know, I'm a bootleg sociologist, and so I just kind of look at what the social dynamic of people. But here's what I discovered about myself, and as I've observed African American people, I've discovered that I wasn't by myself. Um, I discovered that during the pandemic, my wardrobe was a t-shirt and basketball shorts.
Mm-hmm.
That was my wardrobe. And what I discovered was that the less I put on clothes, real clothes,
True.
the less I was able to see, hey man, you need to go work out, or hey man, you need to stop eating that, or make and I think when we're just always in casual clothes and we never have to put on, any a pair of dress pants, or a blazer, or what have you, then we just keep growing into our casual clothes, and we just go buy a bigger size.
True.
And so I've just discovered, find a reason to put on some clothes. Just trust me, it helps. It's not until I put on, I'm like, okay, you need to do something, because you know my, my basketball shorts don't tell me what my slacks tell me.
Mm-hmm.
My basketball shorts and my t-shirt doesn't tell me what my button down,
True.
and so for me, you know just from your past, put on some clothes. Just, I help you out. Just, it help you out. Just put on some clothes. Put on
Yes.
some clothes. It will help you, because you'll discover, oh, wait a minute, this is a little tight. This is a little tight. So I appreciate it. Um, it's so important, and let me say this, as it's so important that we do this holistically, y'all. And that's what Jumpstart January is has been all about. One of the things that we didn't get a chance to do, and I say this to the family, that we didn't get a chance to do is, you know, for some people, fat going through the 22 days of the fasting was easier than committing to 22 days of working out for 20 minutes.
Mm.
So, and so we're not going to be just religious. Um, and I don't apologize for my faith, and I don't apologize for my commitment. Uh, but but I don't want us to do things for the sake of just doing them. There are a lot of people who are conditioned by our religious practices to go on a Daniel fast, or to go, we didn't do
Mhm.
a Daniel fast, we did something else. And you do that well. But what if I had said, eat what you eat, but we're going to work out for 20 minutes
Mhm.
every day for 22 days? And so next year we'll be able to balance the two a little bit more, because for some people, they've been fasting since they were a little kid.
Mhm.
My first fast, I think I was 12. So we're going to balance this a little better, because I want you all to stay around, and be well. The other thing, family, that we're going to have to do is, and maybe Destiny, and maybe I'll get you and Leona and others to talk about this, because um, this country doesn't really want poor people to eat healthy,
Not at all.
because it costs so much money to try to eat healthy. You know, um, your brother turned me on to, because I had been drinking almond milk. Your brother
Mhm.
turned me on to oat milk. I went and got a half a gallon of oat milk. It was 5.79. What is going on here? Like, wait a minute. 5.79 for a half a gallon? What is going on here?
You
And
can make your
so
own.
we'll have to talk about that at another point. But this health and diet and all of that. But let's commit to being healthy, and whatever that takes, let's commit to that. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. We're getting great feedback for the information that was. Where can people find you all for your services?
Yes. Instagram is Stick Shift Fitness, and the website is stickshiftfitness.com. I know I'm in Georgia and you guys are in Florida, but we offer virtual classes Monday through Thursday. We have a 6:30 a.m. and a 7 p.m. live situation. And then if that doesn't work for your schedule, we offer the option to send the link out, and it's a fresh workout every single day. But yeah, it is an amazing community where people come looking for you. You ain't worked out in 3, 4 days. Ma'am, where have you been? But it really is a situation where a lot of people's lives have been transformed. You'll hear Stick saying, Shane lost 1,000 pounds or things like that. But it really, really is a place where you get stronger physically, but also mentally. And that's really a beautiful thing to witness.
Great, great. Thank you all for joining us for Jumpstart January. It has been a great, great month of a lot of wonderful, wonderful things, and we appreciate, to the family of Hope. I appreciate you so, so very much. Um, Go ahead and like and share this and pass this on to other persons. And if you have not caught today's worship experience, trust me, you want to go and listen to that teaching as we were doing part 3 of keeping your winning streak alive. The sermon title today was "Watch Me Keep Being Me," and you want to make sure that you go and watch that. I appreciate you all. Love you much, and we'll see you Tuesday morning. Good, good.